Thank you. As we are maintaining 2 minyanim. Unfortunately, we didn't succeed this morning. Berish did not have a minyan for Shachris. Only had 6 people, and they ended up davening in Satmar. There will not be a minyan by Berish tomorrow morning. We opted not to do it. He called a lot of people, and people couldn't promise, they couldn't commit. So he will not be davening in the house tomorrow, but Friday morning there will be a minyan in the house 7:30, and we're going to try tomorrow night to really sign up for that, to make sure that he has a minyan. And Sunday morning the minyan will be by him at 8. That will be the final minyan of the Shiva, the same as the shul, and we'll try to take care of that as well. Tomorrow night there will be a minyan by him, but that's within my control because I call up beforehand, as I did tonight, and if he was short, I would ask some people to go over. We are sponsored by the Fisher family, Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shlomo ben Avram Alevi Perel Bas Ruvain. We're also sponsored Nishmas Avram Yishaya ben Shmayo Yosef, the Refuah Shalem for Yomis Mechayesar, for the Schutz of Avram and Yom Benish ben Malki Yudus. We are learning also sponsored by Yoel Klugman and family, the Refuah Shalem for Meir ben Chayesar and Esther Fala Bas Chana. They should have a Refuah Shalem B'Sech Shachal Yisrael, and we learned for Beresh's mother, Miriam Sarah Bas Aryeh. Our neshama should have a lichtige Gan Eden. We are holding now at Mishna Vav. So the Mishnah tells us that we don't allow her to look good. The whole idea over here is to disgrace a woman that behaved in a very not Jewish way. Her husband warned her. She first of all disobeyed her husband. She caused her husband tsar. She closeted in with another man. So if she usually wore white, we insist that she wears black. If she usually adorned herself with gold, and with chokers, nizamim. Now most people translate nizamim as nose rings. However, over here the Taisis Yom Tov brings down from a Rashbam that it actually is earrings, which is a little bit more normal. V'tabois and finger rings. So the mavira mimana, we move this jewelry, we remove the jewelry from her, kidei lenavla, in order to make her unseemly, to disgrace her. V'achakach mevi, remember we we ripped and shredded her blouse, her dress. So we tied afterwards around the top of her dress, maybe chevel mitzri, an Egyptian rope, v'koishra l'mala midadeha, and tied it around on top of her breast so her whole dress shouldn't fall down. V'kol ha'roitza lirois ba lirois, and whoever wants to see it can come and see it. Chutz me'avodah v'shivchoisah, except for her servants and her maidservants, we don't want to embolden her when she sees, people that she's, friendly with, and she might feel emboldened to go on with this. We want her to back out and say, I'm out of here. Because she's, intimate with them, and they might embolden her. And here there's a girsa that is likely. All women are advised to go to see it, because this is a musar haskel for them, that they shouldn't, that they should take a lesson. All the women will receive a rebuke, musar, that they should not do likewise like her promiscuous behavior. And now the Mishnah tells us this is a very, 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 very important Mishnah. B'midah she'adam moeded ba moeded in lay. The way a person acts, that's the way Shemayim treats them. He kishta es atzma la'avera. She beautified herself and made herself attracted for her paramar. Hamakam nivla. So the Rebbeinu Shalom disgraces her. He gilsa es atzma la'avera. She exposed herself for sin. Hamakam gila aleha. So now the Rebbeinu Shalom exposes her, uncovering her hair, tearing open her blouse. Vayarei chischila ba'avera tchila. In the event that she actually had an affair, so she starts by exposing her thigh and having him enter her by her thigh, and then, of course, the zera goes to the belly. Therefore, the thigh swells first, and then the belly, and the rest of her body doesn't escape from the horrible pain. Rabbi say, this lesson of Midah Keneged Midah, it's one of the great inhibitions and incentives in life. It really is something that we need to have a very strong emunah in. From the very beginning of time, the Rebbeinu Shalom says, watch what happens to the snake. The snake tempted Adam and Chava and said that the fruit is delicious. Therefore, the snake will never taste again throughout history. And I told you that this doesn't mean that it eats earth. It means that whatever it eats, steak, tastes like earth. It doesn't have taste buds. That's the ultimate Midah Keneged Midah. The snake caused man to lie down in death in the grave, and therefore the snake lost its feet and slithers on the ground. There is, everything is Midah Keneged Midah. It says that Cain and Hevel died because Chava gave to Cain and Hevel, who were born that day. It's brought down in the Medrash that Chava gave to Cain and Hevel from the tree. And therefore, she was punished throughout the generations from having pain from children, and in childbirth, and raising children, because of what she did to her children. The fact of Midah Keneged Midah follows us in life all over. All over. The pasuk tells us that Hashem tzilcha al yad yaminecha. Hashem is your shadow over your right hand. Now, literally, this sounds very. If you would call me a mere shadow of a man, I would take affront. What are you calling me? The fact that we refer to Hashem as a shadow is at first a little bit strange. But a shadow does one thing to perfection. It mimics. And that's the way Hashem is with us. Hashem tzilcha al yad yaminech. Hashem mimics what we do. So if in life we are selfish, we are going to be confronted with selfishness. If in life we are impatient, we're going to be confronted with impatience. The great boomerang of Midah Keneged Midah also has a long memory. Sometimes things don't happen right away. Because if things happened right away, there would be no bechira. It would be obvious. So sometimes it doesn't happen right away. There's a Mordecai story I saw in Rav Chaim Kanievsky's Sefer on Chumash Vayikra. What happened is And what happened, a person told this story to Reb Chaim Kanievsky, and Reb Chaim Kanievsky told him it's a mitzvah to be mefarsim it. The person was an older person, was about 80, and he went to the doctor with stomach cramps, and the doctor took a sonogram and said that he has a malignancy, in his large intestines, and it's going to need extensive surgery, and even if it's successful, he's going to have to, by all probabilities, he's going to have to wear a colostomy bag for the rest of his life. So, of course, the person was very broken, and but he had to do the surgery. It was otherwise the doctors say his life is not very long on this earth. And the night before the surgery, he has a dream, and a man comes to him in the dream, and he says, "You saved my stomach. I'm going to do all I can to save your stomach." And he woke up from the dream, and he's trying to figure out who this man is and what it is. And then he remembers that 40 years before, he used to go on Erev Shabbos to a nursing home and visit some Jewish patients. And there was a man there who was groaning and krächzing and said he hadn't gone to the bathroom for days. So he immediately went to the nursing staff of the nursing home, and they brushed it off and they said, "Look, we don't have the tools, and the family is not interested in paying a doctor." So he called Hatzalah. He rushed him to the emergency room. In the emergency room, they berated him. "What kind of a son of you are you that you left your father like this? He could die like this." He had an obstruction, and they did immediately a procedure. And it cost 300 liras. That was his whole parnasa for the week was 500 liras. But he gave the man such relief that he gladly paid the 300 liras. When he got back to the nursing home, he said, "I got to look up this person's family and let them know, it could happen again." Calls the family, and the family said, "Leave our father alone, butt out." But he would regularly visit this man, and it happened 2 more times that he had to take him to the emergency room, and he helped him. And subsequently the man died, and he forgot all about it. And now he realized that this was the man that came to him in a dream. The next day, they did, before the surgery, they did a sonogram. And the doctor came back astonished that the growth shrunk tremendously. He says he has no explanation, but he only has to do a very small procedure and there will be no side effects. And kachaba. The man went to Reb Chaim Kanievsky and he told him this. And Reb Chaim Kanievsky said it's a mitzvah to be mefarsim this. This is the koyach of midah keneged midah. And, I think about it often. When we get a chance to help somebody, or if your wife needs to talk to you, and you don't brush her off, you put everything aside to talk to her. The Rebbeinu Shalom records these things. And that's the way the Rebbeinu Shalom treats us. B'midah shalom, and this is Hashem made this incentive, and He made this inhibition. The people want to have healthy eyes, So they should use their eyes for the right things. All of these things. And I told you recently that the Chavetz Chaim had somebody, when he was 83 years old, he had somebody open his mouth and count his teeth. And if the person felt very uncomfortable, the Chavetz Chaim insisted. And he had 32 teeth, a full set of teeth at 83. The Chavetz Chaim says, I watched my mouth my whole life, and therefore Hashem took care of my mouth. That's what the Baal Shem Tov says, Dama Lamaila. If you want to know what's in store for you upstairs, Mimcha. Look at yourself. The way you act, that's how Hashem will treat you. And he says Mimcha is the abbreviation, Mida Keneged Mida. Tonight we will have the daf, and then I would say about 9:15 will be the Chumash here titled, What is Kedusha? You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at the different words of the Rishonim of what constitutes Kedusha. So everybody is invited, men and women, at 9:15 to come down and learn with us. It'll also be on Zoom. Nice to come down, but it'll also be on Zoom, zoomdaf.com, at 9:15. I think we'll be able to sell Sfira after Mariv.